As promised, the phenomenon, the pride of the Philippines, up to a career-high ranking this week of 29 in the world. Back, take away the year and everything that's happened since, but even just that tournament, beating 3 former major winners, including the woman who had just won the last major and an all-time great in Iga Swiatek.
A legendary icon who once dominated global rankings and conquered major tournaments, unleashed a fiery perspective on the women's tour, sparking endless chatter across the athletic community. Inviting Alex Eala onto his renowned audio platform, the host immediately shattered any lingering expectations of a standard, predictable dialogue right from the opening moments. Roddick showered the young athlete with profound reverence, treating her like an absolute titan actively shaping the current competitive landscape. Before their exchange concluded, the retired superstar issued a bold declaration that left fans and critics alike utterly stunned. The young competitor, he proclaimed, stands as the ultimate international symbol for the Philippines, extending far beyond mere athletics. That heavy revelation demands a moment of profound silence to truly comprehend. Here was Andy Roddick, an elite warrior who battled at the absolute zenith of professional competition, witnessing generations of phenoms rise and fall, now sitting before this rising star in pure astonishment, without a shred of fabricated courtesy. This was far from a shallow media obligation or a scripted promotional chat. His words dripped with sincere amazement at her mastery, constantly reminding the audience that they were witnessing a truly hardened professional who understood the battlefield. The dramatic narrative highlighted how she flatly refused to cower at elite venues, opting instead to systematically destroy legendary champions who dared to cross her path. Right from the opening remarks of their gripping exchange, the veteran established a powerful mood, deeply honoring the monumental cultural impact her ascent brought to her native soil. He brought to light a staggering historical reality that ordinary spectators often overlook entirely. Despite boasting an incredibly fierce and deeply passionate athletic population that easily surpasses 100 million living souls, the island nation had never witnessed a single local athlete breach the top 100 global rankings throughout the entirety of competitive history. Then arrived this unstoppable force, who utterly obliterated that historical ceiling with breathtaking, cinematic flair that no one anticipated. The former champion spoke with burning intensity regarding this specific milestone. He stressed that her triumphs transcend selfish ambition, bearing a glorious burden meant for something much larger than personal victory. Her ultimate victory belonged to a starved homeland that had prayed for such a monumental breakthrough for countless generations. In an era totally devoid of local challengers, she morphed into the solitary shining beacon of her nation's athletic hopes. In the eyes of the legendary host, this profound background elevates her statistical victories into the realm of absolute myth. The veteran refused to hold back, smoothly pivoting to the exact catalyst that violently altered the young star's destiny. He recalled the legendary campaign during the previous Miami tournament that forced global spectators to completely freeze and stare. As the host recounted the epic tale, pure, unadulterated awe bled through his every spoken syllable. He vividly painted that isolated time frame, entirely stripping away all subsequent historical events to focus purely on the immediate shock. The saga zeroed in on the absolute madness of destroying 3 separate major title holders, notably including the reigning global queen. The historical record shows this. The fierce contender invaded Miami while hovering near the 140th global rank. Entering as a miraculous wildcard, she received a golden ticket to clash with supreme athletic titans despite entirely lacking the required mathematical standing for direct admission. Typically, unseeded invitees fade into the shadows after a swift defeat, a ruthless, unspoken truth of elite-tier sports. An oceanic chasm normally separates the untouchable athletic gods from the ordinary hopefuls. However, this warrior blatantly ignored the unwritten rules, storming the coastal tournament to execute the absolute unthinkable. Delivering on unspoken prophecies, this absolute prodigy and beloved national treasure catapulting to a spectacular career peak of 29 globally. Without hesitation, she systematically dismantled legendary titans who previously held major crowns. She mercilessly eliminated a trio of former conquerors, ultimately staring down the mighty Swiatek in a truly unforgettable showdown. The opponent stood as an undisputed generational queen and an unparalleled force of athletic destruction unlike anything seen before. The host painted her legendary streak as pure royalty, capturing a spellbinding reality that left stadium crowds gasping for air. Etching her name into eternity, She delivered a generational masterpiece that fundamentally rewrote the rules of competitive possibility moving forward. The inquisitive veteran dug deeply, desperate to uncover the psychological warfare raging within her during those epic, high-stakes clashes. He desperately sought to unravel the psychological mystery of how a 140th ranked underdog maintained such icy, unbreakable nerves under immense pressure, projecting pure lethality and tunnel vision while executing 3 consecutive slayers of the court without ever blinking. This bypassed standard journalistic interrogation entirely, manifesting instead as an ancient ritual of respect between 2 battlefield generals. Anchored by raw intrigue and profound honor, he fully realized he was conversing with an immortal in the making. The former champion took special care to praise the young phenom for every spectacular milestone she had constructed following that enchanting Florida tournament. After all, a competitor's true trial begins the second their initial blazing triumph fades into memory. The ultimate question remains if a rising star can survive the crushing weight and blinding spotlight of suddenly becoming the tennis world's fiercest obsession. Eala managed that monumental feat flawlessly. Through relentless grinding and fierce battles, the phenom demonstrated to everyone that her Florida conquest was absolutely no accident. It served as her battle cry. Roddick subsequently proclaimed his absolute judgment with deafening clarity. Alex Eala represents the very soul of the Philippines, echoing far beyond mere athletic arenas. Within a vastly populated nation overflowing with an undeniable, fiery devotion to athletic glory, the young competitor evolved into the supreme embodiment of Filipino triumph, proving their warriors could conquer the most colossal global battlegrounds imaginable. Roddick stated his absolute truth without hesitation, even stripping away her recent phenomenal seasons. Conquering 3 previous Grand Slam champions during one single event proved monumental. That spectacular run featured a victory over the most recent Grand Slam victor, alongside absolute domination against the legendary icon Maria Sharapova. The historic former world #1 and 5-time Grand Slam conqueror, easily standing among the most legendary titans in female tennis history, passionately echoed those exact same profound sentiments regarding the dazzling Alex Eala. Sharapova expressed far more than mere compliments for a gifted prodigy. The Russian legend viewed Eala as the desperate salvation their beloved sport had craved for countless, agonizing years. Ever since that explosive Florida arrival, the retired titan scrutinized the newcomer intensely, finding herself profoundly captivated by elements extending well beyond mere scoreboard victories. The veteran observed the prodigy maneuvering through blinding media glare, taming the suffocating anxiety born from explosive worldwide fame, and maintaining absolute professional grace while the entire tennis universe scrutinized her every move. The Russian icon, intimately understanding the devastating crush of such astronomical expectations better than most mortals, declared the young star absorbed the chaos with breathtaking tranquility, fierce concentration, and an unbelievable maturity far surpassing her actual age. Sharapova confessed to secretly cheering the Filipina phenom onward through critical battles, specifically during her high-stakes debut at the United States Open. The legend acknowledged a deep, authentic desire to witness the rising prodigy conquer the world. To the former champion, this narrative eclipsed mere tournament statistics. Eala embodied a profoundly vital transformation for the destiny of the entire athletic discipline. Sharapova recalled physically attending the prodigy's opening round, an absolutely grueling battle on the courts of the United States Open. Following her return home, the seasoned champion found herself intensely debating a quick trip back to the stadium, simply to watch the rookie capture ultimate victory. She felt entirely convinced by the young girl's extraordinarily sharp mind, incredibly lethal gameplay, and a remarkably powerful platform possessing the undeniable potential to transcend traditional boundaries forever. However, the veteran noted that elevating early triumphs too dramatically, while allowing inevitable brutal losses to mentally destroy a flourishing career trajectory, makes discovering true psychological balance exceptionally impossible. Sharapova believed the young star beautifully located that exact equilibrium. Enter Novak Djokovic, widely revered as the absolute greatest titan in history, a warrior who waged war against every monumental legend across countless eras of elite athletic competition. The Serbian master allegedly declared the Filipina sensation undeniably electric on broadcast screens, yet infinitely more mesmerizing live. He painted her as a breathtaking gladiator, forging a magnificent legacy within the women's tour through pure, undeniable merit. Her ascension stemmed entirely from ferocious natural ability rather than manufactured illusions or hollow journalistic frenzies, alongside a savage, unyielding devotion to the brutal grind that forges authentic immortals. Spoken by Djokovic himself, such monumental praise carries a colossal, earth-shattering significance. The legendary player emphasized a profoundly deep mutual respect with Eala, both during fierce combat and in quiet, private moments. He felt deeply compelled to understand her magic, remaining absolutely staggered by her blinding inspiration. Witnessing her raw, explosive energy on the court left the Serbian master completely breathless. What profound truth emerges from this avalanche of elite praise? It reveals the sport's most immortal titans and influential minds independently reaching one undeniable consensus. Her terrifying rise involves absolutely zero artificial fabrication. These represent the visceral, unfiltered reactions of true conquerors, instantly identifying absolute majesty materialized in the flesh right before their very eyes. Andy Roddick roared at earliest and fiercest. Alex Eala stormed Florida as an unheralded 140th ranked wildcard, yet departed as the hurricane that completely obliterated and rewrote the global narrative surrounding Filipino, Asian, and female professional athletics forever. The phenom reigns as the indisputable symbol of her proud nation, and given the explosive reverence from the entire sporting universe, the young star could rapidly evolve into the supreme icon of a global revolution, vastly larger than anyone imagined.